Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody on YouTube. Thank you for coming this morning. This is our first time at the Centering Space, and we're really happy to be here. We hope we'll also be having a class here in a couple weeks, so please keep that in mind. We'll have some announcements at the end. So let's begin by just settling in first. Of just getting the mind and body together. Can everybody hear me okay? Can you hear me? Just. I do too. Okay, so just get your mind and body together in the same place. Bringing awareness to the present moment. Hello, John. Come sit here, Craig. Come sit here. Is Ria here? Is Ria here? These people I haven't seen in like 10 years, maybe more. Is Ria here? Okay, just you. Just you. Ugh. Okay, great.
I disappoint you too much.
No, I'm not disappointed. I'm thrilled to see you. All right. Okay, so let's begin again. So, mind and body together, present moment. Okay. Now I'm going to say a lineage prayer, asking for blessings from all the teachers. Kunsanda Sankanap Shiri Sam Pamakara Jabani Shuna Susunupna Tadenga Saso Katana Manamlas Huada Omin Chikin Kibodane to Sum Sege Clinking One and some sugar Sun to say bad. So wait a minute, Shakla so wild. All right. So we are going to start with our bodhicitta motivation. Bodhicitta is a Sanskrit word. Bodhi means awakened or enlightened. It's the same root as the word Buddha. And citta means the mind and heart together. So the literal translation is enlightened mind heart. But what it means, the definition of it is the wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay. So sentient meaning with consciousness. So kind of a big goal, right? But with the understanding that little by little is how we reach that goal. So we just try to establish at least that the time we spend together this morning benefits others as well as ourselves. So please just take a moment to set that as your motivation. Okay, so today we're going to be discussing calm abiding, or Shine in Tibetan. Um, kind of it's the general idea behind Vipassana and other traditions. So, calm abiding meditation is about bringing awareness to the mind, bringing calm, etc. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Liz, thank you. Sorry, directing the photographer. You guys, do you mind having your picture taken? Does anybody not want to be seen with us? Worried about the CIA or something? I don't know. ICE gonna come and get you? Okay. All right. So I want to again thank everybody for coming. And also I want to thank the Centering Space for allowing us to hold our meditation here and our classes here. So we all know that we are happier when we're calm and miserable when we're stressed. A lot of us spend a lot of time in that second part of that sentence, right? So we spend a good part of our lives worrying, right? Fretting about the future, running through our days, and hence our lives in a frenzy. If we are to deal with this in a positive way, we need to examine the cause of our stress. We always have to look at the cause, right? If we're just dealing with the symptoms, it's never going to really go away, right? We have to get rid of the cause. So we tend to blame, we tend to say the cause of our stress is our environment, right? Work, traffic, family obligations, the general lack of time that we feel, which just as an aside is very interesting because I always hear the teachers say, Westerners think they don't have a lot of time, which is quite interesting. So I'll leave that for you to contemplate. So, uh, but if we work on our minds, then our environment won't have so much control over us, right? It's what's happening in the mind that ultimately determines our level of stress, not what's happening in our environment. So that might seem kind of counterintuitive, but if we could find happiness by adjusting our environment alone, then all the rich people in the world, right, the ones who have all the money and they all the money they need and or all the money period these days.
That is.
um, and lots of free time to go on vacation and so forth. All of those people would be deliriously happy, right? Because their environment should be stress free. Yeah, they have nannies to take care of the kids. They have drivers to drive them around. They have private planes. They don't have to deal with, TSA or whatever, right? But that's not true. Yeah. Some people have four kids and a full-time job and feel relaxed. Yeah. Some have no kids and a part-time job and feel stressed all the time. It's not the environment. Yeah, I'm not saying the environment has no connection. Of course it does. Of course it does. If you're in a situation where you have to work two jobs and you have kids, a family to support and all that stuff, of course that's going to contribute. I'm saying it's not the entire picture. Yeah. And even in that case, if one can work with the mind, then that whole situation where it has one has the potential through meditation, through study and so forth, to be able to calm the mind to such an extent that at least it's not as stressful. Okay. I remember this story of the Dalai Lama. Usually when he travels, he stays in a nice place because his students offer him a nice place, right? Um, can I ask Michelle and what's your name? Mark, can you just move over a little bit so I can see your shining faces? I can see everybody except for you guys. Thank you. Yes, thanks. Thank you. Because it makes me happy. And I can't believe you two are here at the same time, but there you go. Huh? No, not okay. Anyway, uh, so Dalai Lama, right? He always stays in a nice place, and sometimes he stays in people's homes who have a very nice house. Okay. And that's not because he cares, he doesn't care, but because people offer him that. So that's where he stays. So he said one time he was staying somewhere and in that situation and he had to use the bathroom. So he went to the bathroom and he said he took a peek in the medicine cabinet and he saw, you know, pills to keep you awake, pills to help you sleep, pills to help with depression, and so forth, you know? And he said, there's no point in having a penthouse suite if all you want to do is jump out the window, right? So it's not the environment, it's not material things that are going to make us happy. It's not material things that are going to make us feel satisfied and at peace in our own life. Yeah. We know this intuitively, we know this, but we still kind of get caught up in trying to get more and more, and kind of wasting time and energy on those sorts of things. Okay. Like, the moral of the story is never let the Dalai Lama use your bathroom. It's a bad idea, man. He's gonna snoop. I don't let him snoop, that guy. So, uh, so, uh, so one of our main problems as Americans is anxiety, right? A lot of us suffer from anxiety. Okay. Um, but if you think about it, anxiety is just a fantasy about the future. Yeah. We're running into the future, imagining bad things will happen. Yeah. What if this happens? What if I do this and then that happens? What's going to happen if XYZ? It's not the present moment, right? It's running into the future, making up a story about all the bad things that are going to happen. Now, some people have anxiety as a like a almost physical issue. Like depression can be an imbalance of the brain chemistry and so forth. But for everyone else, this is pretty much what's going on, right? So we're rarely in the present moment. Okay. Um, so Thich Nhat Hanh, who some of you know, is a great, what's great Vietnamese master. His books are really fabulous, and I recommend all of them. He's wonderful. So he says that in a way, we are never alive if we're living like this, right? He says, like he says, like when we're doing the dishes, we're thinking about the cup of tea we're going to have after. When we're drinking our cup of tea, we're thinking about the day that just passed. Like we're not present, we're not there, right? And, if we're never in the present moment, when are we alive, right? And this is really an important point. Yeah. We kind of have this tendency to go through life um, half asleep, you know, and kind of just going through the motions and not being aware, not being present, and not living up to our potential as human beings. So the simple act of mindfulness, of being here and now, can do so much to bring us to a place of like spaciousness and relaxation. Like if you just think about right now what is happening, right? Is there is your life, falling apart right now? Is this house on fire? Is there an earthquake? Like we're just sitting together in a room, and you can feel your body on the chair or on the couch, your feet on the floor or not, as the case may be, right? You can feel your breath, hear little sounds, the fan, somebody moving in the other room. There's no reason to run into the future, to worry about something at this point. It's not going to help, it's of no benefit. That's what we have to think about too. What is the benefit to being anxious? I am. What's the benefit to being anxious? You know, there's no benefit to that. All it does is make us suffer in the present moment. That's it. Doesn't solve a problem. It sort of makes our mind like constrict. Yeah. And we can't, we're in that state, we're actually less able to think clearly and to make the right decisions and to, decide what it is we actually want to do and try to solve whatever problem is we're anxious about. We're just roiling in our anxiety. You know? Another not so obvious thing that can uh pardon me, cause us a lot of stress is the compulsion we have for protecting the ego. Yeah. We constantly feel that we are threatened by others or by various circumstances. And I don't mean threat like, you know, a violent threat, but just like um, competition or road rage, or, and that might be a violent threat. So you got to be careful there. You know, or, uh, uh, any number of things that can make us feel like somehow we're going to be harmed. Yeah. Um, right. I can't let that person have their way, you know, or everything will fall apart, or I can't show them kindness or patience or give them the benefit of the doubt because then where would I be? This is fear. It's so fear based, right? They might take advantage of me. People might think I'm a pushover. Right? This is a real misunderstanding of kindness and compassion. Yeah. Um, and this is where examining the ego and then developing compassion can do a great deal to bring calmness into our lives. Yeah. Trying so hard to protect this ego leads us to ignore others, yeah, to use them to our own ends, and even to harm them, right? We build a kind of fortress around ourselves and then create a lot of stress trying to protect that. We have so much fear. Yeah. If we have, on the contrary, an abundance of love and compassion, then fear naturally diminishes because we're more concerned about others than we are about ourselves. Yeah. That's not to say that we should become martyrs, okay? But we do need to refocus our attention. So this is always like can be a tricky line, right? We want to have compassion. We want to um, love others. We want to put others first. At the same time, we don't want to be a doormat, and we shouldn't be a doormat. Okay, it's not an invitation to be a martyr. It's not an invitation to uh, let others abuse us because we're trying to be a good Christian or a good Buddhist or whatever. Right? We have every right to establish boundaries, to um, protect our physical and mental health. Okay. At the same time, there's a lot of room for most of us. I don't know what's happening in your mind, you know. I'm sure some of you, maybe all of you, I think about that sometimes. I'm like, everybody's enlightened. Everybody is like this great bodhisattva, and they're just here. So I have to hear myself talk about the Dharma constantly. So that maybe someday it actually penetrates, you know? So thank you for returning to cyclic existence to help me out. I don't believe you. So, um, you know what I mean? So we have to find that balance for ourselves. Nobody can do that for us, right? Um, so then there's stress that comes from competition, right? And I don't mean like the Olympics, okay? I mean, you know, we need to get the best parking spot when we go, and we'll fight somebody over it. You know, we need to be the best at work. We need to show the world that we're worth it. By doing the opposite. It's like we can experiment. This is a really important thing about Buddhism in general is, we're encouraged to ask questions. We're encouraged to be a little skeptical or septical, as my French friend would always say. I'd be like, no, that's a septic tank. That's not what we're talking about. So we're encouraged to have a healthy sense of skepticism, and we're encouraged to experiment, right? To see, like, do these teachings make sense? What is this like in my own life? That's what we call contemplation, right? Study, contemplation, meditation. So what happens if um where am I at? Right. We should see, how much more relaxing and enjoyable it is to let people in front of you, right? When you're driving or in the plane or at the grocery store, to let someone else win an argument. It's called giving the victory, right? Some arguments we need to put our foot down for sure. You know, if we see our neighbor abusing their kid, we're not going to say, "Well, it's a difference of opinion." We do what we can to stop that. But if we're going to have an argument about, I don't know, I always think of this stupid argument I had or almost had with somebody until I remembered this teaching. At work, when I used to volunteer at, or no, it was pretty much volunteer because I was getting paid $10 an hour. So, but it was this. Do you know this organization called Interact Cleveland? You ever heard of them? No. It was an interfaith group run by Sister Donna. Do you know Sister Donna? No, sorry, you pointing you out, but Sister Carol knows Sister Donna. So anyway, Sister Donna was the boss, and this organization was a really great organization. I'm sad it doesn't exist anymore. It was essentially interfaith people getting together to serve the needy, but in their attitude was so admirable. It was, peer to peer, you know. It wasn't like I'm up here and you're down there and poor little you and I just pity you. It was so much respect. I really loved it. So anyway, was another employee and myself. And I said, "Where's Sister Donna?" And he said he didn't know, but he saw her uh, gray car in the parking lot. And I said, "No, her car is gold." And he said, "No, it's gray." And we're about to like throw hands, over the color of her car. And I was like, "Oh, just and just it doesn't matter. And I was like, okay. And then and once I got a good look at her car, it was one of those colors that like could be either depending on the light. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But stuff like that, we don't have to win all the time, you know. And if we look at ourselves, if it happens to occur to us when we're in that kind of situation, we can look at ourselves and be like, how important is this? And why do I want to win so much? Right? And this kind of aggression and ego, sort of can arise depending on right. Um, Cherishing others more than ourselves is an amazing and surprising position of strength. And once again, I encourage you to try that to see how you feel when you are in a state of, let's say, anger versus love and compassion, right? As a society, we tend to see anger as a power position, right? We feel powerful, we feel big, we feel, energetic, it's all this like, I am about anger, right? But we're not clear. The mind is not clear in that state, and we are not calm. We're agitated, and the mind is moving like this, you know and, there's a phrase, right? Blind with rage, you know? Huh?
It's right.
Yeah. And it's actually literal, which I did not realize until I got so angry with someone that I went blind for a minute. Not a minute, probably 10 seconds. But it was very scary, I was like, whoa, I can't see anything. And I think it's because the blood vessels in behind your eyes or something get, so big that they block your sight. So how are you going to make a good decision from that state, right? How are you going to feel relaxed in that state? How are you going to feel strong? You're not strong, you're weak in that state. Somebody could blow you over like a feather, you know? Whereas if you are in a state of compassion, love, there's so much spaciousness. Your feet feel very solid on the ground, you know. You have access to your innate wisdom, yeah. And your mind in that state, you have much more capacity to see the other person's point of view, to make a good decision, to understand the situation as a whole, yeah, than you do in the state of anger. So we're not saying, like, again, if somebody misinterprets these points that I've been talking about, it can feel like, oh, it's supposed to be just milk toast, and let everybody walk all over us. It's not that. It's not that. It's a state of wisdom. Yeah. Compassion and wisdom need to be together, right? And this is the traditional teachings. It's not, airy fairy Palmo coming up with some hippie idea. I love the hippies so, man. Old school hippies. They were so, I was so impressionable because I was born in 62. So like 68, I was like 6 years old, right? So I was just like, I love that. Look at them, And they're like colorful clothes and they're colorful, posters. My brother had a black light poster in his room. I don't even remember what it was, but I remember you could see the black light poster. It was so cool when he had a black light. And they wanted peace, instead of us Vietnam War. And if he just wanted peace, and I was like, peace is good, peace works. Anyway, so um, don't believe me, okay? Just try it. Try it. See for yourself in your own life, in your own situations, is this true or not? Maybe I'm full of, yes, I don't know. Probably. Could be, you know? So you should test it for yourself. So if we want to cultivate more calmness in our lives, yeah, then we need to train. And this is another really important point. Such a big difference between saying you should be like this versus we can work with our minds to develop the qualities that we want to develop in our minds, right? Like love and compassion and patience and generosity and so forth. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I just really
Pardon?
love like that.
Okay, all right. I just want to be sure because I know sometimes I can start louder and then just gradually diminish. So I want to, as a person who has hearing issues, I really want to be aware of that and not make your life hard.
Just down the job.
Okay. So just like we train to learn to play the piano or learn another language or, you know, I don't know, develop a muscle, which I don't seem to have. So, right, we train in awareness through meditation. We train in being here and now in the present moment. That's what calm abiding meditation or mindfulness or breathing meditation is all about. And we train in compassion, yeah, the ability to put others before ourselves. And meditation called Tonglen or the practice of exchange is what helps us to do this. So there's ways of working with our mind that we can approach the world in a different way. So let's do these practices together. I don't know how to do this, but can you come here? Can you come here? Yeah. So um, we run by donations, and we need to give 50% of whatever we take in as donations to this lovely place. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to pass around this offering basket. Just pretend you're in church. Okay. Thank you. Hey, come on in. Have a seat. Hi. Good morning. So I was at the Unitarian Church giving a talk, and they sang during this part. They had a little song, and I was like, "What do you want? What do you want me to sing, man? I don't know. I can sing anything you want. Please make a donation. We need to pay for this place." Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. And also, if you can't, you can't. I really don't mind. Thank you, darling. Thanks. Okay. Ugh, I was so nervous about that. I had so much anxiety, you guys. Okay. So let's do some meditation, okay? So since we are all sitting in chairs, or if you can cross your legs like Sheila here, you can do that. Otherwise, you want your feet flat on the floor. If you at home are sitting on the floor or on your bed, just cross your legs in whatever way is comfortable for you. All the other instructions are the same, whether you're sitting in a chair or sitting on the floor. So your hands can be in one of three positions, either palms down on your legs, or palms up in your lap, or with your fingers on top of each other and your thumbs touching like that, like you're holding a goose egg, whatever's more comfortable for you. Okay. The back is straight, which is the most important thing, right? So you don't want to be like you're in the army, just straight but relaxed. Back of the neck is also straight, chin is tucked in a little bit. Arms are relaxed. Okay. Shoulders should be back a little bit. So when I do is just roll my shoulders back one time, and that kind of just opens up the chest. The mouth is closed but relaxed. Tongue resting on the roof of the mouth. Breathing through the nose. The eyes should be half open, looking down in front of you a few feet. The relaxed, lowered gaze. If that's not comfortable for you, go ahead and close your eyes, but it is advised to meditate with them open. Okay, so that's the posture. So this posture supports the mind in meditation. So we're going to bring awareness to the sensation of the breath coming in and out of the nose. So you're going to kind of be focusing towards the end of your nose and just notice that sensation for a moment, and then I will continue. Okay. So the meditation is doing your best to keep continuous awareness of that sensation of the breath and letting the thoughts just come and go without getting involved in those thoughts. All right. So I'm going to give you an example. So let's say you have your posture, you're noticing that sensation, and a thought arises on, I don't know, July 4th, let's say, comes into your mind. Oh, next month is July 4th. What you want to do is just let that thought go. It'll be replaced by another one, related or unrelated, which will again be replaced by another one. And you just keep focusing on the breath. Okay. What we want to avoid, but what will surely happen, is we'll get distracted by one of these thoughts that comes through, right? So, same thing, sitting, we have our beautiful posture, we're aware of the breath, and then thought arises, next month is July 4th, and we're off and running. Oh, I have to have a picnic. Oh, are we going to go to the fireworks? Oh, the fireworks and those poor animals. Oh, I remember when I was 12 and I had a cat. And we just go on and on and on, right? We want to avoid that, but that's probably going to happen. All right. So the moment we realize that we've gotten distracted, all we need to do, very simply, bring the mind back to the breath. and we'll be aware for a little while, and we'll get distracted again, and we bring the mind back again. That's the practice, okay? Getting distracted, it's so important. Getting distracted is not a failing, all right? It's a habit. And this training is about, the Tibetan word for meditation is gom, G-O-M. And that means to become familiar with or to get used to, right? So we're becoming familiar with the mind in the state of awareness, the mind when it is distracted, and we're getting used to bringing the mind back from a state of distraction to a state of awareness, okay? So we have the posture. We're gonna bring the mind to our breath, and we're going to try our best to keep continuous awareness of that sensation, letting the thoughts come and go, bringing the mind back if and when we get distracted. Okay, so I'm going to ring this gong to start and also to finish. Now you can begin to count the breaths, counting either every in breath or every out breath for a total of 10 complete breaths. Counting helps us to realize more quickly when we've gotten distracted because we'll have lost count. If we lose count, then simply start again at 1. If we get to 10, don't let that distract you. Just bring the mind back, start again at 1. So please begin that now. So that's just a taste of mindfulness breathing practice. Can do that all day long if you want. Now we're going to move into a practice called the practice of exchange, or Tonglan in Tibetan. Tonglan means giving and receiving. So this practice is specifically designed to increase our natural compassion. Okay. And giving and receiving means we're taking on the suffering of others and we're offering them our own happiness. Still not an invitation to be a martyr. Okay. So rather than explaining the whole thing, we'll just start. I'll guide you through step by step. Okay. So again, we have the meditation posture to the best of our ability. And if you want to close your eyes for this practice, that's perfectly fine. It's a different type of practice. Okay. So we begin by just resting the mind in its natural state. So that means just letting the mind settle. We're not distracted. At the same time, we're not particularly concentrating on anything. So I'm going to ring the gong. I know you can't hear it on YouTube. I'm sorry, but just imagine the gong ringing, I guess. I'll ring the gong, listen to the sound as long as you can hear it, and then just let your mind settle. Okay. Now imagine in your heart center, so that's the middle of your chest, a very bright white light like a shining star with light going in all directions. Now imagine that you're breathing in gray smoke, hot, dark, and heavy through all the pores of your body. And all of that smoke gradually dissolves into the white light in your heart center until there's not a single particle of smoke left. There's only light. Now consider that you're breathing out this white light through all the pores of your body. It's cool, clear, very bright, light in weight. Just breathing out every particle, every pore of your body, emanating a ray of white light in every direction. Now imagine in front of you someone that you love a great deal. This person can be alive or they can have already passed. Just picture them in front of you. And go into your heart and feel the love you have for this person. How special they are to you. How they make your life better. And feel the love they have for you. How their face lights up when they see you. How they're so happy to help you in whatever way they can. And then bring to mind the way or ways in which this person is currently suffering or did suffer while they were alive. And don't just think about it, but try to really feel it. What does it feel like for them to have to go through those things? Physically, maybe they're sick or they have some other kind of physical problem. Mentally or emotionally, maybe they suffer from depression or addiction or anxiety. Perhaps they're going through a divorce or grieving. Or maybe they have money problems. Whatever it is, and again, don't just think about it, but what does it feel like to have to endure those things? And then, of course, because we love them so much, we want them to be free of this suffering. So we imagine that all their suffering, whatever it is, takes the form of gray smoke, hot, dark, and heavy. It leaves them and it comes to you. And without any hesitation, you breathe that in through all the pores of your body. And all of that smoke gradually dissolves into the white light in your heart center until there's not a single particle of smoke left. There's only light. And then you offer this person your own happiness. Consider that you're giving it to them, that you won't have it anymore. Your own happiness, your good fortune, anything and everything that they may need to feel better. And adding to that the wish that they attain full enlightenment in this very lifetime. And all of that takes the form of white light, cool in temperature, clear, very bright, light in weight. And we breathe out this white light. And when these rays of light touch this person that we love so much, all of their suffering just disappears. It just lifts off of them. And they breathe a sigh of relief. They feel so happy, peaceful, at ease. And you feel joyful for being able to do this for them. Now we do that same process for all sentient beings. First, imagining them all around you, in front, as many beings as you can conceive of. Employ your CGI, right? Many beings as you can imagine in front, as far as the eye can see. Same thing to your right, countless beings, all the way to the horizon. Behind, again, all the way to the horizon. And to the left, as many beings as you can conceive of, all the way to the horizon. So now you're in the middle of a sea of sentient beings. We first want to consider how we are the same in certain fundamental ways, in that we all, without exception, wish to be happy. We all wish to be free of suffering. And unfortunately, we all suffer nonetheless. We are connected in myriad ways, seen and unseen. So we take a moment to consider whatever kind of sufferings all these beings may be going through. Some very, very intense, some less so. Some we understand, some we don't. We don't have to know the specifics. We just have to know that they're suffering. And so we consider that all their suffering, whatever it is, takes the form again of gray smoke, heavy, dark, and hot. It leaves them and it comes to you with a great deal of love and compassion. You breathe that in through all the pores of your body, and all of that smoke starts to dissolve into the white light in your heart center until there's not a single particle of smoke left. There's only light. And then you offer all these beings without exception your own happiness, your own merit, anything at all that they may need, and the wish that they attain full enlightenment in this lifetime. And all of that taking the form of white light, cool in temperature, clear, extremely bright, light in weight. And you breathe out this light, every pore of your body, emanating a ray of white light in every direction as far as the eye can see. And when these rays of light touch all these beings, each individually, their suffering just lifts off of them and disappears like fog in the morning sun. They feel so relieved to have this mantle of suffering lifted off of them. They feel happy and peaceful, and you feel very joyful for being able to do this for them. Now we let go of the visualization altogether. Bringing the mind back to the breath and into the present moment, here and now. Prayers. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do the closing prayers. Not obliged to do them. Okay. We're just going to do them in English. I will share them on the screen. Hey, Tess. Hey. Bonsoir, ma petite Colette. All right. What am I doing here? For years. So we start with the long life prayers for the Dalai Lama, Jigme Khyentse Rinpoche, Tugupama Wangara Rinpoche, who are our teachers, and then to all of our teachers from the past, right? And we used to do these in Tibetan and so forth, but I don't know. I just got it in my head to just do it in English when we had meditation. Share. Where are you? I really don't like, there we go. Okay. This new Zoom layout is all right. Okay, so let's begin. In the celestial realm, encircled by snow peaks, you are the source of every happiness and benefit. Tenzin Gyatso Avalokiteshvara himself, may your lotus feet remain firm for 100 eons. Om Swasti, in the vast expanse of your fearless wisdom, shine the 100,000 cooling light rays of your all-pervading great love, dispelling the anguish of beings in this degenerate age. O supreme jewel of space, region of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, remain with us continuously, we pray. Om Swasti, through dependent causation and the blessings of the infinity of long life deities, may Pema Wangya, prophesied magical emanation of the Taklon Setro, be firm in body, speech, and mind like the king of the sounding drum, Amitabha, and may the great waves of his wishes for the teachings and beings spread out to their ultimate extent. We pray for the good health of the lamas. We pray for their precious lives to be long. We pray for their activities to spread and increase. May we be blessed, never depart from them. And the next page. By this merit, may all attain omniscience, may defeat the enemy, wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from the ocean of cyclic existence, may I free all beings. May bodhicitta, precious and sublime, arise where it has not yet come to be, and where it has arisen, may it never fail, but grow and flourish ever more and more. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then, may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. Ever absorbed in the display of divine forms and primordial awareness, appearance, sound, and perception in the state of divinities, mantras, and dharmakaya, may I, inseparable from the practice of the profound and secret great yoga, attain within the essence of mind the state of one taste. Then we say the 100-syllable mantra, which like purifies any mistakes. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajra Sattva Tenopa Tisha Drido Me Bawa Sutokayo Me Bawa Subokayo Me Bawa Anurakto Me Bawa Sawasedi Me Prayatsa Sawakama Sutsa Me Chitam Shriyam Kuruhum Aha ha ha ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajrama Me Munsa Vajriba Mahasamaya Sarva. All right, so before you go, we have a couple of announcements to make as usual. Um, one second. There we go. Okay. Um, so as you know by now, our meditation has moved from Saturday to Sunday. That will be a regular thing. Okay. In September or sometime in the fall, we may also start, or we will start also restart our family meditation program. So I'm sorry, I thought you were saying what? Can you hear me? Okay. Um, so you can bring your kids, but you have to stay here. We're not a daycare, okay? Ain't nobody doing watching your damn kids. All right. So so that's, something to look forward to. But closer to that, we're going to have a new class here, okay, starting on June 17th. It goes for 6 weeks. It's called Buddhist Perspectives on Life. So it's essentially a kind of survey course that covers a different topic each week. You get sort of a general idea of Buddhism in the modern world, okay? So we'll be covering, briefly each of these topics because it's just one class per topic. Yeah. Buddhist philosophy and practices, death and dying, science and psychology, politics, women, and more. Okay. So again, here for 6 weeks. It's not yet up 6:30 to 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. Okay. Yes, there is not a text. I will be sending you links. We'll just use online articles, so you don't even have to worry about a book. Okay. Um, what else? There, you can also join on Zoom. Okay, if you can't make it here, um, there's people who join from New York and Oklahoma, etc. So, free to do that. I want to just to tell you about that. Registration will be up soon, hopefully by Monday or Tuesday. There's certain things I don't understand about updating the website, so going to have help with that on Monday. Okay, we also get together 3 times a week for doing the Buddha sadhana together. At the moment, that's just on Zoom. So it's just half an hour from 6 to 6:30. You can look on our calendar on the website. Everything is there. Highly, highly recommend. What did I say? A week? Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. Oh my God. Sorry. 3 times a month. And it varies because it's according to the lunar calendar. So check out our calendar. It's just half an hour. It's a really nice practice. I love it. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff really, really helps us. Okay. You can even go back to previous, I know you can't comment because it's live, but you can like, you can subscribe, you can go back to older ones and leave a longish comment, right? Who told me how many words? 10 words. Ani Palmo is a doofus and I hate her. Something like that. Okay. Even if it's bad, it counts. Right, right. Um, sorry.
I was at the YouTube algorithm and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So we have other things going on, over time. Sometimes we have Lama visits, sometimes we have retreats or seminars, all that stuff. Best way to be the first one to know is sign up for our newsletter, okay? Which you can do on our website easily. All right. Is that it? Okay, all right, that's it. So thank you so, so much for coming this morning. And thank you for joining us on YouTube, either now or in the future. And that's it. Okay. All right, goodbye. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you. All right. Bye, Tess and Melina and others. All right, let's get out of here.